Is Infinite Galaxy a free-to-play friendly game? Well, in this video, we're going to give you everything you need to know about how you can get Edge as a free-to-play player and talk about the ways in which, the players that are spending do get some Edge. So stick around for the free-to-play way to navigate your way ahead of the competition. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video sponsored by the makers of Infinite Galaxy, I want to talk about the ways in which the game is very free-to-play friendly, and I also want to present the ways in which a free-to-play player will be behind a player that is paying to win. If you like Infinite Galaxy guides designed to help you get value and smash your enemies, then do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button for those Infinite Galaxy videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. It's not a coincidence that I'm showing you the command center at CC28. Look at the resources this is going to take me to make the upgrade. Holy moly. And the crazy thing is that I don't have the resources to do something like this. I don't have the resources to do many of the upgrades that I want to be doing. Even the research costs a ton of resources. And I'm showing you this because this is the way in which a free-to-play player can get Edge. You see, I've got a ton of speed-ups here that I can't even use because I don't have the resources. So how does a free-to-play player get Edge? Let me tell you something. The strongest player in our nebula right now, no, they're not free-to-play, in fairness, but they have 7 farms. And the reason that they shot ahead in power above and beyond all the other players in our nebula is that they made many farms to get tons of resources, 100% free-to-play. And that is the way in which this game differs from many other games that I have played, which is that you need tons of resources, not speed-ups typically, in order to advance your space station, your research, and so on. And in this game, you can get tons of resources, 100% free-to-play, by creating multiple farms, and you can have as many as you potentially need. In fact, the player I was showing you earlier has 7 farms. Now, that might sound like a pain in the butt, and I myself need to go and make farms. I'll be making a video about that really soon. But I'm mentioning that farming is really advantageous in this game for free-to-play players specifically, because not only do you need all those resources, but also you can send out your gathering fleets, and they'll be gathering for 4 hours or more at the right resource node. I've had mine running for a little bit of time now, which is why it's obviously not quite 4 hours on the time for them to return back home. So this is a very, in my opinion, free-to-play friendly game for getting resources, which, unlike other games where you need lots of speed-ups, in order to advance your tech and also your city, you actually can do a ton of those in this game with the resources you've gathered from your farm. You just go pillage from your farm when you need the resources, and man, you can make a lot of progress just with time doing all of the work for you for upgrading your buildings and your research rather than having to pay your way to speed-ups. That is the way in which this game is very, very free-to-play friendly. Now, when it comes to the things where you'll have a little bit of a disadvantage as a free-to-play player compared to someone who has been spending in the game, obviously there are things like VIP that, for the most part, you can get from, your alliance doing some amount of spending, but if you yourself are spending, that is assuredly one of the very best ways to upgrade your VIP level, which does come with some really nice buffs. And you're like, look, the reality is that unless you're spending, these are buffs that you won't be getting anytime soon. In fact, even spenders are going to take a really long time to get very far with these buffs, which is probably a good thing overall for the health of the game. The other area in which a spender is going to have a pretty big advantage is when it comes to the flagships at their disposal. This is a pretty big deal. The flagships that a spender are going to have are presumably going to have more ranks on them with higher levels of their skills, and a free-to-play player is more likely to focus on probably one legendary flagship and then one or more epic flagships. And my recommendation at this moment in time in the game's development is that the way that you focus in is by having fewer flagships that you power up more, rather than having lots of flagships that are all kind of powered up a little. And for the times when you're in war, I suspect you'll get more advantage by having a smaller number of very powerful fleets, and you focus in on those epics. And that will be the challenge that you'll have, is getting what you need to do upgrades to your legendary flagships, and also, of course, a little bit to your epic flagships as well. Now, crew is one area of this game that also a spender is going to have a bit of an advantage. This is my gathering crew, but you can see I've even got a bunch of legendaries in here. They're ranked up a fair amount. My epics are ranked up a fair amount. And yes, I have paid my way to no small amount of crew. This is another area in which a spender is going to get a fair amount of edge. You can offset that leading up to the end game simply by having more tech than your opponents, by having your buildings level up a whole heck of a bunch. But once you get to that end game, the big challenge that you'll be working on is making your way through as many of the events that show up in game as you have time to do, in order to be able to get all of the free rewards that are in game. And you're basically taking your time at that point to make sure that you're participating in all the events, which, like, presumably if you're playing this game anyways you want to, in order to be able to advance your crew a very meaningful amount, and also to then get all of those crucial buffs, including, I mean, honestly, like, the crew experience is good. And dang, I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. Full legendary unlock? Hello, baby. That's what you like to see. Wow. Rubia von Hessen. I don't think I can actually use that to upgrade her now, but I sure would like to. And there's another Lieutenant Freeman. Man, that's pretty awesome. So you can see it's certainly nice to be getting extra crew and to be leveling up your crew a fair amount. The way that you'll be doing your crew advancement as a free-to-play player is that occasionally events show up where you battle a bunch of pirates, get a bunch of cores, and then you get data cards for free. That is an event you want to make sure you jam every single time to be able to advance your crew a fair amount. The final area where a spender can have a pretty big edge is, of course, the quantity of warships that they have available. If you're spending to get a bunch of speed-ups and then using them to build warships, I mean, yeah, you'll have more warships. I think the big thing I would recommend is that as a free-to-play player, that you focus your universal speed-ups not doing any speeding up for your research, or not doing any speeding up for the things in your city. That, I don't think, is a great play. I think the stronger play is to let those just sort of cook over time. And of course, you have building speed-ups, use them over here. You have research speed-ups, use them for research. But the universal speed-ups should pretty much all go toward building warships, or if you're in war, clearing out your repair center so that you can go and do more battling. On the whole, I think that this game is fairly free-to-play friendly. The big thing that differentiates it from other games that I've played, and that probably puts it a step more in the direction of being free-to-play friendly, is that you don't need speed-ups, really, to do your research or your buildings. And that is really unusual in my experience. The key is the resources, which you can make a ton of farms and get for free. And, you know, presumably after some amount of time, we'll all be in that end game state with Command Center 30, right? And we'll all have our Command Center and everything in here maxed out. And that's the situation in which, hopefully by that point in the game, there'll be even more events to go and get the legendary blueprints, to go and get the epic blueprints, so that even as a free-to-play player, you'll have a way to get more Federation Advance credits and Federation credits to be advancing your flagships, and close that gap a little bit between where the free-to-play players are and where the pay-to-win players will be. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, throw a like on here and consider subscribing to the channel for more Infinite Galaxy guides designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. And if you're looking for a guide about how to improve your crew to gather tons of resources, this logistics crew is pretty gangbuster. I'll have a card up in the top for my video about how to get tons of resources with a crew just like this one. Until next time, you have fun smashing your nebula.